Let's go ahead and get a brand new installation set up for our new WordPress site. What we're going to do is we're going to go into Cloudways, we're going to select Applications, and once Applications loads up, we're going to go ahead and select Add Application and choose which server we want it to be on. We're going to select Clients Entry and Add Application. It's going to go ahead and ask, what do we want to install? And we want to install WordPress version 5.6. What do we want to call it? We're going to be calling it Inspiritus Yoga. And where do we want to store it? So this says, the previous step says what server do we want to install it on. If we want to put websites collected together amongst over multiple services, that's how the projects work. So we'll do Shrine Clients and we'll click Add Application. It'll take a few minutes to get that application created, but once it's created, we'll be able to just hop in and change up our domain. Now that our application's been created, we're going to go ahead and search for it. We're going to click on the application. It's going to load up, and we've got our application URL that we're going to change by going down to Domain Management. We're going to type in the domain that we want to use for now. And because we're going to be doing this as a demonstration site, as a new site, and we're not ready to use the main domain, we're going to call it yoga.shrinemedia.com. We'll click Save Changes, and it will update the primary domain. And what we'll need to do then is go into our domain manager, which for shrinemedia.com, we use GoDaddy. We'll go into that domain manager, and we will point the yoga.shrinemedia.com subdomain to the client's entry server. To do that, we'll click Access Details. It'll show us the application public IP address. We'll copy. We'll go into the domain manager. We will click Add. We'll select the A record. The host is going to be Yoga. It's going to point to our server address, and we'll click Save. Now it'll take a few minutes for that record to populate. GoDaddy is actually pretty quick, and within a matter of minutes, we will be able to access this new WordPress installation at yoga.shrinemedia.com. So after waiting a few minutes, you go to yoga.shrinemedia.com or whatever your URL is, and you'll see that it's already populated. So we need to make sure that this is SSL certificate. So we'll go back into our Cloudways interface. We'll go down to SSL certificate, and we will type in our email address. We'll type in the domain name that we want the SSL certificate on. We'll click Install Certificate. And if it doesn't install right away, it could be that the domain has not yet populated across the internet, and the SSL certificate where it's being installed from and to isn't seeing the domain being populated yet. So it may take a little bit of time before you can install the SSL certificate directly. So you'll see the certificate installed correctly. We're going to go ahead and enable HTTPS redirection. That'll make sure that all of the pages wind up getting redirected to the HTTPS address. And everything inside of Cloudways takes a few minutes to process when you're doing server-side processes. So we'll click Close. And now if we go back up and type in HTTPS, you'll see it's secured. So now we have our WordPress installation ready to go on Cloudways.